Welcome back to MPL Recall. Tinitingnan ko lang yung inyong mga comments, guys. A quick reminder, keep it friendly, alright? Pwede mag-discuss pero wag mga away. My name is Leo, joined here by Paolo Expert and Uwami, and we just finished discussing Blacklist International's undefeated run. And that being said, it's hard to separate that from the fact that work almost figured it out. But just the same, a win is a win. And it may have exposed a few chinks in the armor, but just the same, yung MVP natin ay si Oheb pa rin. At this week, sabi ni Uwami, baka daw matalo na ang Blacklist. Our next topic is gonna be on Signal Ultra though, and how they debuted after 2 weeks of being benched. They went 4 days straight, 4 series, back to back to back to back. And it left them with 2 points. Alright? At the end of 4 days of competition, ang itsura ng ating scoreboard ay 2 points. They went 2-8 over the weekend and they are last in their group. But just the same, we saw some things. We learned a few things from Signal Ultra, and some of them are good, some of them are bad. We'll start with you, Paolo Expert. What went right with Signal Ultra's debut?
Honestly, there's not much that went right. Yung draft nila medyo okay lang. Actually, yung draft nila medyo okay lang. Yun lang. But sa laro talaga, once you get in game, walang cohesion yung team. Since they are, except for work at saka LPE na bago pa lang sa MPL this season, di ba? Yung mga older teams na nagbago ng lineup, yung what's it called? Yung Signal yung pinaka nagbago ng lineup ng roster out of all of them. Si Aqua bago, si KK bago, si sino pa kasi isa, si Janus bago rin. The only one that stayed is Rhea and Imba DJ. So talagang they really need to work more on their chemistry as a team. Yun lang yung problema nila. The draft is not even a problem, honestly. The draft is okay.
Yeah, I will echo that. I will say that again. Yung draft nila pang MPL Season 7. I agree. And if anything, medyo pang next level eh. Naglabas sila ng Tams Jungle. Nahuli kong kaya nakita MPL Singapore or something. So talagang meron, nag-aaral sila ng metagame. But yeah, you're right. Execution-wise, it's difficult. How about you, Omi? Anything you liked that you saw this weekend for Signal?
Well, I do like that they are drafting together na kasi sinabi nyo naman na parang pang season 7 talaga yung draft. But the way they approach it as well is medyo naka-counter din sila ng mga kalaban nila. A good example is their game from day 2. Kalaban nila yung Work Oster Force. I have to say, medyo magaling talaga si Coach Liv. Because the first rotation picks for game 1 sa Signal, if I'm remembering right, it was an Angela first pick na kasabay yung Benedetta. And ang first pick ni Coach Liv nun as a priority pick was the singular Selena. So, ang nangyari dito is they left open the box siya and other key picks as well for Work Oster Force and just na-outdraft sila dun. And you would look at their draft for Signal Ultra, they approach it in such a way na alam mong may plano sila and updated sila sa beta. But Work Oster Force in day 2 just outdrafted them in terms of responding to that good draft.
Yeah, I agree. So that's the good things, right? That's the good things. But just the same, lumabas yon dun sa mga iba nilang matches, and of course, specifically in Brenny Sports versus Signal and NXP versus Signal. Kasi yun yung napatagal nila ng 3 games. But they got swept by, again, you mentioned Uwami, Work and Omega. I have a question now is, what can they do to improve? Ano pang next nilang mga galaw dito? Because as Paolo said, chemistry and execution on the map. Paolo, what are some solutions? Kasi kung yun yung problema, anong solution?
Kailangan na rin talaga magbatak sa scrims. I think that's the only way they can fix it, honestly. There's no other way. Maglaro lang together all the time, and dahil nga wala sila for week 1 and week 2, talagang naghahabol pa rin sila. So, they still have time, honestly. How many weeks is MPL, by the way? Just to clarify.
Of course.
I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we might be halfway through, something like that.
Yeah, but like I know
they
we're
don't have
halfway
much
through.
time, I guess.
Di lang yung accept. I just don't know the like exact duration.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So yeah, I
like
agree,
I said,
Paolo.
yung draft nga nila, nandun talaga eh. Wala lang talaga sa execution. Sa execution na lang talaga nagkukulang.
Yeah. Scrims talaga, man. This is difficult. Ikaw, Omi, you have any solutions? Any, like, proposed ideas na baka pwedeng itry ng Signal this coming weekend?
I have to ride on what Paulo Expert said. There's no point of nitpicking when you're 0-5. Like, obviously, there's a lot of flaws to look at. Ang daming problema that we can't just single out one problem. So Paulo Expert just put it in a simple way. Practice more, get to at least at a level that you could at least win series, because man, winning just one game and still losing is not going to put you in a good spot in their group stages. And based on the graphic that we saw earlier, they're 3 points behind from the fourth placer right now. That means they need to sweep their next round to be able to keep up inside the group stages. If they lose again, or possible mas-sweep na naman sila, it's not gonna be good for them. It might be even parang sureball delix na talaga until mag-playoffs.
Yeah. So that's a few things that they can consider. But we already mentioned, no, Paolo, I think it was you who brought this up, the whole roster issue. It's Rhea, Imba DJ, and Bensanity. You forgot Bensanity, man. Bensanity is holdover from the previous roster, and nabanggit dito sa chat, who said that? Who said the dig? Basta nagdigistrat. Yan. Si John Paul Argonza, nagdigistrat si Bensanity, and he played during the last match against the next play. I was gonna say, because my next question is, who's the X factor? I feel like Bensanity is an X factor. I think if Bensanity steps up, they might be able to catch up, because iba kasi yung tank style ni Bensanity tsaka ni Keke. I don't know. What about you, Paolo? Who's your X factor?
Dahil nga support
si
meta
Paolo.
Ako, may sagot na ako. May sagot na.
You go for it. Go for it.
Habang nag-iisip pa si Paulo Expert. Kasi para saan tama ka doon, Leo. Like, Selena, like the Selena and Sylvana Game 2 NXP, Kekenot and Bensanity were the X factors. Ganda ng mga nila, pasok nila, ganda ng mga pick-offs nila. But, you know, X factors could only go so far. You still need to be able to have consistency. So, bukod sa X factor, you still need to have basis for that X factor to happen. So, Paulo Expert, how about you? Sana napilang kita ng oras doon, Dong.
Yeah, I got some thinking time there. Sa akin, honestly, walang X factor sa kanila. They really need to work as a team. There's no I in team at the end of the day. Diba? At saka, yung sinasabi ni Leo kay Bensanity na nagdigistrat siya one game, I believe, and then after that, it was KK Dat and Imba DJ that played. Like we see in all the other games, support meta ngayon, and like, what happened to Omega? Diba sa Omega, change nila yung lineup nila kasi wala nga masyadong nag-fighter, wala masyadong nagsasolid tank, and I think that's the reason why they don't have Bensanity in the main five, which I don't blame them for, honestly. But yeah, just no X factor. It's just the team overall, man. Just the team overall.
All right. I mean, sometimes you have that one player kasi, diba, that you kind of rely on to be the anchor, not to carry the team, but to step up, and then everyone will just follow through. Because again, I think for NXP, again, specifically against Signal, it was Yawi. Diba, yung jawhead ni Yawi. Nung malakas yung jawhead ni Yawi, malakas solid yung buong NXP. So I was wondering if you guys thought there was someone from Signal who was like that, but apparently the problems are a little more fundamental. So medyo mahirap pala. I understand. Correct answers all the way. I love how people are bringing it up. Baka daw si Aqua, Juan Solomon, di ba? I agree. Aqua was pretty solid. He gave Ribo a run for his money during their bout against Bren. But here's the question now. How will they do on the road to recovery? Paano pa sila makakuha ng points para hindi ma-knock out from the playoffs? Here are Signal Ultra's next matches this weekend. Apat na naman, guys. Apat na naman. Back to back to back to back. If I'm not mistaken, isa yata dito, 2 beses. Tama. Oh, this is a nightmare. I'm thinking about it already. Day 1, Aura Philippines. Day 2, Onyx and Work. And then day 4, Blacklist International. I think my voice already says how I feel. Paolo Expert, if this was the lineup of your team to play, what would be going on in your head?
Oh man.
Awi?
Well, since yung debut week nila, they played against, let's just say, weaker teams. Okay, let's just be honest, straight to the point. Weaker teams. This week is gonna be harder for Signal kung hindi sila magpa-practice. So, yeah, it's not looking good for them if they perform the same way they did in their debut week.
All right, I'll pretend like you didn't say some of those teams are weaker, but yeah, Uomi. Dude,
Man.
I think Signal played NXP, Omega. Sino ba Work. And
Work.
Who else did they play?
I
Apat
forgot
yun, di ba?
na.
Well,
pero-
they're gonna play
Yeah.
work again. They're gonna play work again. So,
Man, wait lang puntahan na natin to. Like, I just have to say, this is gonna be just super hard, man. Like, when we talk about Mission Impossible, this is already, tol, alam ko kalmado lang ang Signal. Pero kung ako, hindi na ako kakalma ng ito yung lineup ko for 4 days straight. Tapos yung second day mo pa, Work, Oster Force, sa Onyx. For sure, Onyx will have adjustments, man. Alam natin, si Ocho Gaba, pinagtatrabahuhan na niya kung ano yung next big entra nila for MPL. But, man, when you go about Aura PH first day pa lang, binyag na binyag ka na eh. Doon pa lang, binyag ka na eh. Pero alam mo kung anong
Oo.
parang yung 1 out of 1,400,000 timelines na pwede nilang puntahan, yung iisang talagang first step nila to get this good week, sweep nila Aura. If they sweep Aura PH in day 1, I'm telling you, they're gonna enter playoffs, tuloy-tuloy na yung panalo nila. But if they lose against Aura PH, they're not gonna do it. They're gonna stumble even harder. They need to sweep Aura PH. I just have to say this. Not sweeping Aura PH, they're not gonna do anything for this whole week. If they sweep Aura PH, expect na tataas bigla talaga yung Signal Ultra up 10 ranking.
Okay. So, yun yung
all
lusot
about
sa
the
karayom nila. Oo.
Yeah, yun yung unang strand. Yun yung nilawaya mo pa lang yung sinipid, tapos ipapasok mo. Yun. If hindi nila magawa, wala na. Wala na talaga.
Okay.
Hirap yun.
All right. I'm laughing because it's such a positive spin on the situation. All right. And I would be the one who would say that would be amazing kung mangyari yon. So looking back, it was Signal versus Work, Signal versus Bren, Signal versus NXP. Bakit nagbablock? Signal versus Omega. Okay, so weaker. I'm not putting words in your mouth. You literally said weaker teams. Omega, Bren.
yeah.
Sige, okay na yun. Sige, weaker. Tanggap ko na lang. Alright, anyways, move on. I hope that Signal does that. Again, meron isang game na back-to-back, Onyx and Work in the same day. I think that may have been unheard of. Correct me if I'm wrong. Has there ever been a team that played twice na hindi playoffs tapos isang araw?
No. Based on our schedule for the past few weeks, wala. In
Diba?
season 7,
So,
but in earlier seasons meron pa.
That's crazy. All right. I am looking forward to how they'll be dealing with that specific day. So kung yung isang araw na Aura, and then the next day it's back-to-back Onyx and Work, and then meron silang Blacklist sa dulo, tama ka, Uomi, it might actually be a matter of momentum. Very difficult. Okay, so that's our take on Signal. I hope we have done enough to build them up and, give them a reality check as well. Shoutouts muna tayo. Ang daming nagko-comment. Again, Paolo, your honesty is magnetic. Ang daming nanonood just, saying, Paolo said what I thought. Hindi ko lang masabi, pero yun ang sabi niya. Say what's up to Jay France, to Jan Maui, to King Cosmos. What's up? King Cosmos lang malakas. Si Rina, si In, as well to Laika, and to Drake, to Aryan, to RJ. There's a lot of new folks that we're seeing here, and of course, I think members of your community as well, Paolo. So, real quick, shoutouts mo. Say hi to your fans.
Wait. Bago mo gawin yung Paolo Expert, tatawa lang talaga ako sa comment na to. Sabi ni Rachel, Paolo is too frank. Baka daw mag-trending ka mamaya.
Hindi, okay lang. I mean, I'm just saying the truth honestly. From what I see, okay? Kung may problema kayo sa opinion ko, nasa inyo na yun.
Yep. And again, the key is, huwag kayong magalit sa tao. Yung opinion ang atakihin natin. Alright? Let's argue about the facts, not with the person. Kasi wala namang magkakaaway dito. Alright? We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about NXP. Okay? Yun ang next hot topic natin. They almost went on a losing streak, but nakaisa sila sa signal. We'll talk about that when we return. You're watching MPL Recall.